All right, ladies and gentlemen, solving systems by elimination. Let's jump right in, okay? So notice here we have two equations and they're both written in standard form. To solve by elimination means that we're going to eliminate one of the terms, either the x terms or the y terms, okay? And so when we eliminate, we're looking for matching like terms. Now remember, like terms have the same variable, so x and x are like terms, and then y and y are like terms, right? And so these here are considered matching terms because they both have 9. Okay, these are not matching because notice they have different coefficients or different numbers, a -10 and an 8. Okay, now when I say matching, I mean that they have the same number regardless of the sign. Okay, so the signs can be different. We'll get to that in a moment, what we need to do in order for them to eliminate. But if the signs are the same, like in this case here, they're both negative and they're matching, right? These are not matching. That's okay. That's what we're looking for, the matching ones, okay? So these would be considered matching. These would be considered matching, okay? And so watch this. So once you find the matching like terms, next thing you check is to see if they are opposite signs. One has to be positive and the other one has to be negative, okay? If they are not, like in this case, you're going to see what we do in a moment, okay? But if they are opposite, then that means you can cancel those out or eliminate those. You see that? That's why we call it elimination, okay? Now, once you eliminate those, that means you just combine the like terms of all the other ones. So here, -10x and 8x, that's going to be -2x. Combining those, notice, I just subtract and I keep the sign of the larger term. Equals, and then I'll combine these, 10 plus 10, they're both positive, so it's going to be a 20. See that? So I have this simple equation now, -2x equals 20. And so let's solve for x. Let's divide by -2. And I get x equals 20 divided by -2. That's going to be -10. Look at that. We got our first part of our answer. Our answer is going to be a coordinate pair, okay? So here we have -10 for x. Now we just got to find y. Now, to find y, all you got to do is substitute now. We're going to use the substitution method here to substitute this -10 wherever we see x. Now, we only got to pick one of the two equations, okay? I like to pick the one with the easiest numbers or the one with all positive numbers, okay? And so notice here, in this case, it would be the bottom equation. So I'm going to go ahead and write this down here. 8x plus 9y equals 10. All I did was I recopied it off to the side, okay? So now underneath, I'm going to substitute the x. So you see, I'm going to look for the x right here, and I'm going to substitute -10. So I'm going to go ahead and put 8 times -10 plus 9y equals 10. Now I just multiply here. 8 times -10 is -80 plus 9y equals 10. Okay, let's keep going. Add 80 to both sides. And so I get 9y equals 10 plus 80 is 90 divided by 9. And you get y equals 90 divided by 9 is 10. And so that's my answer, -10, 10. That's it. Notice how we eliminated the 9 y's, okay? So now here, which ones will we eliminate? Well, remember, we eliminate the matching terms, the matching like terms. And so notice here, these match, -3x and -3x. The y terms do not match. That's a 9 and an 8. That's okay. We only want the matching ones to eliminate. So notice we can't eliminate them because they are not opposite. Only opposite like terms eliminate. Okay, and so notice here, I cannot eliminate these because if I try to combine these, I get -6x. So that doesn't work. Over here, they canceled out. -9 and +9, they canceled out. That's why we eliminated them. But right here, what do we do then to make them cancel out or to eliminate them? Well, you pick one of the two equations. It doesn't matter which one. And then you multiply it by -1. That's it. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pick the bottom one here. I'm going to multiply or distribute -1 all the way across. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a little arrow here and write what it distributes into. So negative 1 times negative 3x is going to be a positive 3x. Negative 1 times positive 8y is going to be a negative 8y. And then negative 1 times negative 18 is going to be a positive 18. So notice here, I still have the equal sign there. Did you guys notice that when I multiplied by negative 1, all that happened was the signs changed? Notice negative 3x became positive 3x. Positive 8y became negative 8y. And then negative 18 became positive 18. In case you haven't noticed, that's all you do when you multiply by negative 1. You change the signs, okay? I'm going to rewrite the top equation. I'm just going to bring it over. Nothing's changing there. It's just written the same way. Notice everything is the same. Okay, now notice here, my matching terms are opposite. See, that was the point of multiplying by negative 1. We wanted to make the 3x opposite. So that cancels now. Okay, now let's combine like terms everywhere else. 9y minus 8y, that's going to be a 1y. And then negative 21 plus 18, that's going to be 18, 19, 20, 21. That's going to be a negative 3. Notice here, there's an invisible 1 there, so I don't really need to do anything else. I could divide by 1, but it's going to give me the same result, negative 3. Okay, so now that we have y equals negative 3, I'm going to pick one of the two original equations, okay, or I could pick the one I changed here, the one I multiplied by negative 1, okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just plug in y equals negative 3 into the y. Okay, so watch this. I'm going to go with this bottom one here. I'm going to rewrite it. So negative 3x plus 8y equals negative 18. I just, I want to pick one of the equations. Then in the step below it, I'm just going to substitute the y here. So I'm going to substitute it with the negative 3. Okay, let me bring everything else down. Negative 3x plus 8 times negative 3 equals negative 18. Okay, so now let's multiply here. That's going to be negative 3x minus 24 equals negative 18. Add 24 on both sides. We get negative 3x equals, and that's going to be 6. Okay, notice 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Divide by negative 3. And we're almost done here. My answer is going to be 6 divided by negative 3 is negative 2. So there you have it. My two solutions here. I have negative 2 and negative 3. Okay. So my answer is an ordered pair. All right. All right. So let's keep going here. Notice here we have matching terms, but they're both the same sign. Okay, these are not matching, so I'm going to focus on the matching ones. Okay, so since they're both the same sign, that means they cannot be eliminated. That means I need to multiply one of them by a negative 1. So I'll just multiply the bottom one again. I could multiply the top one if I want, but I'm just going to multiply the bottom one again. Okay, so notice here it'll be negative 10x. Remember, all we're doing is changing the signs, plus 2y equals negative 16. And then bring this one over here. That'll be 10x plus 9y equals negative 17. This eliminates, and then here I have 11y equals negative, and this is going to be 33. Okay, if you add those two, you get 33, negative 33. And so divide by 11, and y equals negative 3. Okay, so that's part of my answer there for my ordered pair. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick the easiest equation here. I'm going to pick the top one because there's no negatives on the left side. So I could pick the bottom one too, but I'll just pick the top one. So I'm going to rewrite it. 10x plus 9y equals negative 17. And then since I have y equals, I'm going to plug it in where the y is. Okay, make sure you don't plug it in on the x because you have y equals, not x equals. So here we have 10x plus 9 times negative 3 equals negative 17. Okay, and then 10x minus 27 equals negative 17. Add 27 to both sides. I get 10x equals 27 minus 17. That's going to be 10. Okay. Notice 27 minus 17. If I were to do it like this, right? 7 minus 7 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. And so we get 10. Divide by 10. And of course, you can use the calculator. X equals 1. So there's my other part of the answer. So my answer is going to be 1, negative 3. Okay? So when they have matching terms, those are the easy ones. Okay? We're going to do 2 more examples after this one here. And you'll see what we do when we don't have any matching like terms. Notice here these are like terms and they're matching. Think of these as both ones, a negative 1y and a positive 1y. So they are already opposite, so I can go straight to canceling or to eliminating. There's no need to multiply by negative 1 because they are already opposites. The only reason we multiply by negative 1 is because they were not opposites. We're trying to make them opposites. See, they weren't opposites here, but once I multiplied by negative 1, they became opposites. Right here, they are already opposites, so no need to multiply by negative 1. And so here we have 6x minus 5x. I could just combine like terms. 6x minus 5x is going to be x. And then 21 minus 18, that's going to be 3. Again, use a calculator if you need to. And so now I pick one of these two equations and I plug in 3 wherever I see the x. So I'll just pick the top one here. So 6x minus y equals 21. Just copy the problem first. Okay, copy the equation first and then draw an arrow from the variable that you're going to substitute. So I'm going to substitute the 3 there. So that means I'm going to multiply 6 by 3 minus y equals 21. Okay, so that's going to be 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus y equals 21. Subtract 18 on both sides. I get negative y equals 3. Now, it may look like we're finished here, okay, but we are not. Because notice here, there's a negative y there. That's kind of like saying negative 1y equals 3. So, we're going to have to divide by the negative 1 there. Okay, y equals, now 3 divided by negative 1 is negative 3. Okay, now I'm done. So, my answer is going to be 3, negative 3. See that? Let's see. Actually, we have 3 more, okay? So, hang in there. Now, these next 3 examples, notice here I do not have any matching like terms. Okay? So, what we're going to have to do is trying to see if one of the smaller like terms can be multiplied by a number to make it identical to the top term. Okay? So, notice here I have 3. That's a smaller one here. Can I multiply 3 by a number to make it 6? Yes, 3 times 2, right? So that's what I'm going to do, okay? But look at this one here. This one's small, 3. Can I multiply by something to make it 4? No. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. I need a 4. So this one is not going to be the one I work with, okay? This one will be the one I work with here because it'll be easily converted into a 6 by multiplying by 2. But here's the thing. Okay? You know how like in the last few examples we multiplied by negative 1 to make them opposites? First, let's see. Are they opposite signs? No, they're both positive. So I need to make sure I multiply this one by a negative. Okay? Because I want to make them opposites. Now, since that's a 6, I'm going to multiply this by a number to make this a negative 6. So they could be opposite 6s. Okay? And so here I have a 2, negative 2. Notice here if I multiply by negative 2, I'm going to end up with a negative 6x. That's what I want. So watch this. Negative 6x and then negative 2 times negative 4y is going to be a positive 8y. Remember, whenever you multiply by a negative, it just changes the sign. So this will be a positive 8y. Notice how it was negative, now it's positive. And then this is negative, it's going to become positive. But notice 2 times 21, that's going to be 42. Okay? Again, all I did was I multiplied by negative 2 all the way across. Now, just rewrite the first one as is, the way it is. Do not change it. And look at that, opposite 6x's, okay? So since they're opposite, now I could do what I was doing in the last several examples we did, okay? So these cancel out. 8y and 3y make 11y. And then 24 plus 42 is 66. Divided by 11. And I get y equals 6. Okay? 66 divided by 11 is 6. Okay? Now pick one of these equations. It doesn't matter which one you pick. I'm going to go ahead and choose the top one because they're all positive. So I'll just pick the top one, 6x plus 3y equals 24. And I'm going to plug in 6 where the y is. So there's a y, I'm going to plug in the 6 right there, okay? So watch this. It's going to be 6x plus 3 times 6 equals 24. Multiply 3 and 6, that makes 18. So 6x plus 18 equals 24. Subtract 18. 6x equals, and then 24 minus 18, that's going to be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 6. Okay, so then divide by 6. And you got x equals 1. So my answer is going to be 1, 6. Okay, there's x equals 1, y equals 6. Okay. Look at this one. We have no matching like terms like we did in the first 4 problems. So then we look at the smaller term. See, can we multiply it by a number to make it into the larger like term? No, not with the -2. What about the -3? Can I make that into a 9? Yes, I can. Now, since they are already opposite signs, one's positive, one's negative, I don't need to multiply by a negative. I could just multiply it by the number that will make it into this number here. So 3 times 3 is going to be 9, right? But since it's negative, it'll be negative 9x. Okay, now keep going. 3 times positive 7 is going to be 21y, and 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, let's bring this one over the same way it's written. 9x minus 2y equals negative 50. 9x is canceled, you see that? And now we have 21y minus 2y, that's going to be 19y, equals, now 50 minus 12, let's see, that's going to be 38, negative 38, okay? Use a calculator if you're not sure. All right, divided by 19, and y equals, this is going to be a negative 2, okay? So now we're going to go ahead and plug in the negative 2 into one of these two equations. I'll pick the bottom equation here, the original one. In the parentheses, it'll be negative 3x plus 7y equals equals positive 4. I almost made a mistake there. Okay, and then we're going to plug in a negative 2 here where the y is, right? And so it'll be negative 3x plus 7 times negative 2 equals 4. And so then we have negative 3x minus 14 equals 4. Okay. And then we have add 14 on both sides. We get negative 3x equals 18 divided by negative 3. And we get x equals negative 6. Okay? All right. And we'll stop right there. You guys have now a delta math assignment.